contaminated to this plans to be crushed. Ain't no longer with the system supposed to live it, but to the social distance we just giving in, cause we're here to appease societies, live by fear of disease, invisible enemies. Now I see, ain't too much the disease, but the power that be, and how the elite with the positions under the conditions used for a new system of government, which will usher in an antichrist regime. The man of lies, time for rise is supreme. Man, life was sweet 2020 BC, before the so-good enemy put the world to its knees. I made economies freeze like an ice age. Now I'm afraid what you see ain't a nice place. A self-isolated race of human beings. People's minds were taken with their future dreams. From computer screens to sound like the scene that we choose and seen when our lives are breeze. So it seems that you're clean on social media. Just right behind the screens it seems a whole lot easier to end the quarantine. Don't need any help for social media. Keep feeding yourself. But if you want to go out, then you have to apply. You're satisfied with your answer, then you can go outside. What used to be a right, now it's a favor. Or if you praise the state, that's the power that's greater.
Sinister eyes and suspicious stare. This is the life when you're living in fear. Social distance, get move over there. That's one of the corona in the air. Everyone everywhere, have to perform. Police on the street in a black uniform, swarming in the home of gigantic locust. Reports of a man who has a diagnosis. Sinister eyes and suspicious stare. This is the life when you're living in fear. Social distance, get move over there. One of the corona in the air. Everyone everywhere, they have to conform. Police on the streets in a black uniform, swarming in the home like gigantic locusts. Reports of a man who has a diagnosis.
Now the state's definition of a traitor is different. A citizen within it with a different opinion. The state makes the decisions, then we comply. Now ain't nobody there who dares to question why. They're all terrified of another disease. Will they ever survive on that government cheese? Man, I hope that it lasts. All the dividends and the aids that you've been given a lower crime position in it. It's the division between the rich and the poor. The middle classes, they got rid of the poor. A serfs of the Lord set up surround us, but these serfs went and Lord out of the houses. Now how about this new government scheme? Every member of the team gets a free running machine. Who wouldn't it be fun to go outside for a run without waking up to the sight of a gun? Never mind what they done, created an invalid, a self-hating idiot, isolated guinea pig. Life was what you make it. We used to sing till we gave them freedom to choose to the state, and now it seems too late to begin to read it back. It disappeared with the fear of a disease attack. Signing contracts, declaring a fate where every man was made dependent on the state, and then they legislated against going outside. Welcome to 2025. How we gonna survive when our human rights are being annihilated? Plus your mind state is being violated.
Sinister eyes and suspicious stares. This is the
a cage fighter. My mind's a maze of desires that I'll be lost in. A time chasing my life all the way to the combat. I know that Christ paid the cost. I'm born my penalty. So life can threaten me with a death to be ahead of me. And whoever be my enemy, deliver me, get my destiny. Cause death and resurrection be my heavenly identity. The treachery of men is infectious like leprosy. Wherever there's aggression that can never rest validity. Ready for whatever this life throws at me. Writing poetry and expressing my mind openly. Finding quotes from the biblical text as all my visible threats that die pitiful deaths. And is it a test? Well, sometimes I wonder. Classes above, I got a pass with flying colors. The lying tongue, it just wants to cheat. Like live drums that post beats to see. Sneaky like shoplifters, the god of resistance. God persistence, defeating the odds with this. Believing in God, and the reason is obvious. The lots of wickedness from the demons that we got us. Seems he's forgotten us. Some of us say now, but if we're being honest, it's the other way round. I should not conform to the social order. Moral panic and global disorder. Better make sure your book can float in the water. When a storm approach, you know it don't warn you. Ain't no hope anymore, can't cope anymore. But if you keep on knocking, God will open the door. Ain't no hope anymore, can't cope anymore. But if you keep on knocking, God will open the door. I should not conform to the social order. Moral panic and global disorder. Better make sure your book can float in the water. When a storm approach, you know it don't warn you. Ain't no hope anymore, can't cope anymore. But if you keep on knocking, God will open the door. Ain't no hope anymore, can't cope anymore. But if you keep on knocking, God will open the door. In this playground of life, yo, it may sound alright to the fake cowardly types claiming thousands of rights, laying in their couches in their houses at night. As Satan starts to arouse a selfish life, like to hell with anyone else to the thoughts of men. Ignoring the unimportant, won't even talk to them. Being born again, yet they reject vividly. Physically alive, but they be dead spiritually. Said there is no sin, instead there's negativity. Put on a positive front and pretend that it isn't me. Optimistic freaks with sadistic streaks. Put oxy in your vodka, knock you for 6 asleep. No one should not conform to the social order. Moral panic and global disorder. Better make sure your book can float in the water. When a storm approach, you know it don't warn you. Ain't no hope anymore, can't cope anymore. But if you keep on knocking, God will open the door. Ain't no hope anymore, can't cope anymore. But if you keep on knocking, God will open the door. No, I should not conform to the social order. Moral panic and global disorder. You better make sure your book can float in the water. When a storm approach, you know it don't warn you. Ain't no hope anymore, can't cope anymore. But if you keep on knocking, God will open the door. Ain't no hope anymore, can't cope anymore. But if you keep on knocking, God will open the door. Within humanity, it's a vile disease. From atheists to Satanists to pedophile priests, juveniles on the streets, lawless living. Just say your Hail Marys and all is forgiven. From the walls of prison to doors of politicians, all are falling short like dwarfs caught slipping. And awkward positions from Auckland to Brixton. A walk system that they calling us victims. Forced to listen to all this idle talk, while false titles provide your life support. The force of our mind is define our actions. Nobody wants to die, but wants life everlasting. These are chaotic scenes that strike like laser beams. Riots on the streets incited by crazy teens. Hearing ladies scream as they see the rapists flee. These are the things we're facing when the restrainer leaves. We restrain these things with civil order, but when there is no order, we be killing with water. This is a slaughter. Something is wrong with this. Watch your lips or get a gun in each orifice. Like the iceberg cover might turn on each other. One be getting murdered while the other doesn't run. The dumb be getting dumber as knowledge increases. No wonder it's so stupid we don't know what that disease is. So why should I conform to the social order? Moral panic and global disorder. Better make sure your book can float in the water. When a storm approach, you know it don't warn. Ain't no hope anymore, can't cope anymore. But if you keep on knocking, God will open the door. Ain't no hope anymore, can't cope anymore. But if you keep on knocking, God will open the door. No, I should not conform to the social order. Moral panic and global disorder. Better make sure your book can float in the water. When a storm approach, you know it don't warn. Ain't no hope anymore, can't cope anymore. But if you keep on knocking, God will open the door. There ain't no hope anymore, can't cope anymore. But if you keep on knocking, God will open the door. Four.
younger man. I was like, man, parents don't understand. While another young man is in the streets starving, begging to be fed, saying please and pardon me, sir. But I seem to be getting a fever. I haven't eaten in a week and neither have I slept either. See, bro, it puts it all in perspective. All that talk of not affording a necklace or not getting the next Lexus. Sorry, the Lexus is old, now they want the Bugatti. So why do we worry about careers? No thought of where we'd be in 1,000 years. And why we concerned with trends and fashions, earning cash just to spend on distractions. Yeah, why we concerned with trends and fashions, earning cash just to spend on distractions. I'm so readily distracted, getting all these gadgets, getting cheese at a Z's on the rack to catch it. Like I have that jacket and a cap to match it. Don't forget them back kicks, then I add the mask. Quick cash plus greed equals bad habits. Still we have to cheat to front of the crack addict and the like, thinking that man ain't right. Well, we like designer brands and our fashion pipes and inhale all that retail smoke, getting it through the internet like email dope, choking on the fumes of a consumer's fire. So confused on what to choose or desire. You were the buyer, hiding in the cellar, raining drones and iPhones to buy an umbrella. You dumb fella, trying to hide from life, thinking you can escape the pains by the right price. Buy new devices and shoes and prices. Your soul can afford, cause that's worn out by this life you live, sicker than the flu virus. Still these kids decide to live like this. Truth or lie, now you decide if this consumer's life's linked to suicide risk. These youths who buy this designer vision often can't keep up with this kind of living, trying to fit in with their friends and so pretend to have loads of expensive clothes on Facebook and pretend to show. Now all your mates look when you get exposed, and then they go from friends to offensive foes. They're vexed, tormented with extensive woes, and then there's ropes around their necks and throats. You can guess they choke until its exit glow. Why do we worry about careers? No thought of where we'd be in 1,000 years. And why have the many just so greedy without any thought of the poor and the needy? And why we content with food and clothes, paying rent, a little spent on who knows? And why we concerned with the trends and fashions, earning cash to spend on distractions? Why we concerned with trends and fashions, earning cash so we can spend on distractions? Now with social media, things won't go easier. Hoping for promotion and your soul goes greedier. Nonsense comments and desiring likes, believing you need them like tires on bikes. What's the pride of life that draws us in? Like the idea of having all these friends, and the pleasure we find in collecting subscribers, connecting lives together like Texas and Vipers. You're still alive in the midst of this, and I'll admit to falling victim to a bit of this, but it's ridiculous. Yeah, I should know better, instead of trying to fit into this like an old sweater. And I know what to go getter for those with no jitter. Bring a different forecast to the same old weather. Better off joining? No, never. Instead, just avoid it like a known leper. So clever, you would think we'd become some. Instead, we're just dumb, stuck in a conundrum. A problem of great magnitude. We're all fake and confused and ain't got gratitude. And we're rude as well as disrespectful. Always having to prove our winning potential. Like it's essential to have hits, my man. To be added on Twitter and Instagram. And this is how the rappers just fish for fans. Once that another rapper seen kissing a man. Yo, this is the plan. Feminine cultures, but my mind is a weapon and I'm stepping on these vultures as they insult. We perceive as a carcass with heartless schemes and ideas of darkness. Years of answers they claim to bring, but underneath the name, yo, it's the same old thing. Train your intellects to accept the news, rejecting truths and reinventing the news. They won't let you choose. It's force feeding, deceiving your thoughts and warping your reason. They're like demons born from semen formed into heathens. Underneath them is a beast with horns. So why do we worry about careers? No thought of where we'd be in 1,000 years. And why we consider trends and fashions, earning cash just to spend on distractions.
Welcome to the Great Depression, where how comes in the name of recession. Dreading the days, despising the nights, treading in a maze like blind little mice. Finding a dream might get some through, though inside it seems that it will never come true. I said, finding a dream might get some through, though inside it seems that it will never come true. Hard times hitting, God minds, living in a world where a pearl is something that you can't find. Blind minds running from the men who might be crushing, living life struggling, trying to minimize the suffering. Still time for covering with the wondering eyes, desiring to touch something but there's nothing inside. Finding a grind, needle in a haystack. Society defined by the people that make that. And lack of pay means work reduction. So how on the earth can a society function? Blood sucking, capitalistic. If capital's restricted, then we're animalistic. Gambling hands, just having to risk it. Mentally handicapped man, plans are restricted. Nitwits who nitpick and criticize, living their life in the sight of sinister eyes. Business minds exploiting the mice. Little bit of cheese limiting the choices in life. Hearing voices inside, then silence them or be disregarded, garbage in the asylum bin. Frightening times when lightning strikes, barbarians born with Viking minds, trying to find some crumbs under the table, but meanwhile their minds are becoming unstable. Unable to work, but still thirsting for pleasure. Holding old maps, still searching for treasure. The weather never changes, neither do the wages. Friends are really strangers who are scheming like traitors. Men's natures change with the circumstances. Question yourself and found the worst of answers. So welcome to the Great Depression, where hell comes in the name of recession. Dreading the days, despising the nights, treading in a maze like blind little mice. And finding a dream might get some through, though inside it seems that it would never come true. I said, finding a dream might get some through, though inside it seems that it would never come true. See, welcome to the Great Depression, where hell comes in the name of recession. Dreading the days, despising the nights, treading in a maze like blind little mice. Finding a dream might get some through, though inside it seems that it would never come true. I said, finding a dream might get some through, though inside it seems that it would never come true. Heartless feast, outcasts and freaks, meeting hardships, starving in the streets, and ends meet what few are making it, and having no faith in the future changing it. So who's to blame for this? We're each other, brothers deceiving brother, demons undercover. Dreams have become like broken bars. Woke up in the morning, formed into the lower class. To know the past is to see the future. Used to be the winner, presently the loser. Seduced by different kinds of lust through your two eyes, desiring to touch, but touching is never enough to bring the satisfaction to make your hands clap. And all that lusting in the end must sing, standing back and handling a rat trap. Passions and tastes and character traits, creating all the problems that we're having to face. Same lessons, repeat like we plays the westerns. Dangerous obsessions, shaping their intentions. State oppression, dictate suggestions. Man-made inventions that became our possessions. The same possessions that we traded for bread when we were all met with the Great Depression. Welcome to the Great Depression, where hell comes in the name of recession. Dreading the days, despising the nights, treading in a maze like blind little mice. Finding a dream might get some through, though inside it seems that it would never come true. Finding a dream might get some through, though inside it seems that it would never come true. So welcome to the Great Depression, where hell comes in the name of recession. Dreading the days, despising the nights, treading in the maze like blind little mice. Finding a dream might get some through, though inside it seems that it would never come true. I said, finding a dream might get some through, though inside it seems that it would never come true. Desperate times, just get what you can find. Feeling the stress inside that's affecting the mind. Don't question why, just accept your plight. When you invent the concept of having a better life, just to get you by, so you can strive for. Although deep down inside you know you'll probably die poor. Thoughts of crime in the minds of many, but don't wanna get caught just trying to find a penny. Everybody's getting ready for a class war. The divide is getting wider, too hard to ignore, and the arms are too short to reach out. You aren't even sure if you can speak now, but your voice has been taken by a poisonous state. Robbed of employment, couldn't be avoiding this fate. Enjoyment is fake, an escapement fit won't change the wretched state of the lame and decrepit, who stay rejected like lepers it seems, and will never be accepted in the American dream. Very unclean, it's society everybody's eyes, though their souls are shining like diamonds in the skies. Blind mice, that's how they're living life. Limited provisions, which really isn't right. And this is the life that some face. Maybe something will be done within a month of Sundays, but nothing changes, still the same conditions. Make them feel like they're caged in a sick prison. Embracing visions, then they slip away. Spring the face of the fears, do you hear them saying that I'm bad? Yeah, you can wish away your poverty issues, but for your sorrows, it's not even about the tissue. As the economy sinks, so do the many, probably thinking that only the load is too heavy. Feeling very alone, like you don't belong. Wrote to your friends, and they won't respond. Well, your hope is gone, and the wrong investment. Felt like you got robbed, and then you got arrested. Not interested in much stuff, for whatever you touch just gets crushed to dust. Double Dutch is the language you speak, so no one really understands what you need. Plans to succeed, intangible. You just had them to stop you from becoming an animal. Someone is a man in you, needing to thrive. But how will that man live when you can barely even survive? Welcome to the Great Depression, where how comes in the name of recession. Dreading the days, despising the nights, treading in a maze like blind little mice. Finding a dream might get some through, though inside it seems that it will never come true. I said, finding a dream might get some through, though inside it seems that it will never come true. Welcome to the Great Depression, where how comes in the name of recession. Dreading the days, despising the nights, treading in a maze like blind little mice. Finding a dream might get some through, though inside it seems that it will never come true.
Yeah, when Christ returns, will faith be found? Will minds discern they're on sacred ground? Fake sounds and the visual trickery, chasing clouds as it rains down sympathy. How pitiful this be, the victimology. Please ridicule me so I can be given an apology and a prophecy about how good I am. Warming up by the fire with my wooden hands. You wouldn't understand, yeah, you like to think. If you don't like to swim, you got the right to sink. And we like to drink cause we're depressed a lot. Always flipping and scripping and wrecking the plot as you watch Netflix with a plate of breadsticks, watching the weight, don't care if it hits or not. The economy becomes what we are morally bankrupt and full of dishonesty. So stand up, yeah, if anybody sees man's corrupt, and that's the way it's gotta be. Prophecies being fulfilled today on the playground of life where the children play. Got bills to pay for the debts we owe, for the wages and sin is still debt, you know. Molested souls from the media culprits, celebrities preaching out of TV pulpits. Hey yo kids, haven't you seen those who politically correct action heroes? Cause zero tolerance for what's inside of schools. You're told to be a bisexual before they ride a bicycle. The mind of a fool is striking again, thinking they don't need any ink to write with a pen. I don't like to condemn being such a cynic, but it's hard nowadays to be anything but a critic. And much of the public are a bunch of butt kisses, coercion to diversity by some undercover headless. I'm suspicious of the witness is trash, like a business insisting it isn't in it for cash. So feel the whiplash, stinging the masses, cause when anything goes, the economy becomes what we are morally bankrupt and full of dishonesty. So stand up, yeah, if anybody sees man's corrupt, and that's the way it's gotta be. Prophecies be fulfilled today on the playground of life where the children play. Got bills to pay from the debts we owe, for the wages and sin is still debt. Yeah, the economy becomes what we are morally bankrupt and full of dishonesty. So stand up, yeah, if anybody sees man's corrupt, and that's the way it's gotta be. Prophecies being fulfilled today on the playground of life where the children play. Got bills to pay from the debts we owe, for the wages and sin is still debt. Economy reflects a rotten internet, exaggerating our worth and getting a lot of debt. But what a mess. And remember we have to recognize the right quest is Christ's death correctly applied. Instead we mesmerized by what the eye sees that we desire, expecting to find peace. We buy things like about habit that it might bring satisfaction, like a gadget with an ice cream, then the screen breaks. Needs a replacement quick. Treat these things the same way as relationships. You see bro, it's easy come and easy go, living your life like a TV show. Increase those debts cause you can't resist it. Feel loads of regrets once you get blacklisted. As persists in a capitalist land it is, inhabited by savages and the bad practices. In fact, the planet is a massive business ran by sadistic band of misfits that cannot admit what they haven't witnessed. The fact is business gonna crash in a minute. Actors and hypocrites, one and the same. The crazy things done for a bit of money and fame. Far from sane, on insanity's verge. I heard from the street that anarchy's the word that best describes this dire scenario. We suppress the signs now starting to show a global catastrophe. You know what that could be before you say it. No, it's not that disease. Collapse economies, major and minor. Ironically, from a disease made in China, the place that designs the items we buy, the gadgets we have, and the ones we like to try. What tries to deny that this is the case? When the facts hit your face, still afflicting your taste, wishing away at discontented lies, where everything we want is an expensive price. The economy becomes what we are morally bankrupt and full of dishonesty. Stand up, yeah, if anybody sees man's corrupt, and that's the way it's gotta be. Prophecies being fulfilled today on the playground of life where the children play. Got bills to pay for the debts we owe, for the wages of sin is still death, you know. So the economy becomes what we are morally bankrupt and full of dishonesty. So stand up, yeah, if anybody sees man's corrupt, and that's the way it's gotta be. Prophecies being fulfilled today on the playground of life where the children play. Got bills to pay from the debts we owe, for the wages of sin is still death, you know. Made me a faithful man, I mean a mentally stable man. A man eventually able to try to create a plan and go through with it. Yeah, with the music to be proving it. Inducing the movement of use, so we're choosing a crucifix and losing bits of these old ways. For these are cold days, and it's easy to go astray. No delay, you know what plans formulated. Stand by God's grace, so a man can surely make it. Or we take it, straight murder and steal. I mean chasing 40 acres in a proverbial mule. Yeah, that person ain't real, his life's a fiction. I guess he hasn't quite got the right depiction. Without vision, you know that people be perishing, becoming victims of all the evil we cherish. Sharing needles in the Sheridan, living peaceful like the cherubim. As the devil deceives you, straight leading you to there again, where it's grim, down those dark paths, where the pain within is just masked with laughs. Yeah, fake grins and the hard facades, and dudes that will screw you given half a chance. You can't advance, and a life like this, I mean the soul's waiting to be sold for the right prices. Life is a bitch, and then you die. Sister man without a plan and an enterprise. Yeah, the guy never tries, the guy doesn't care, the guy forever cries that it's not fair, but it's unclear why that guy complains, cause he only got to blame for all of his life pains. Yeah, and struggles, maintain and hustle through this maze of trouble, with as many ways to stumble. Blessed is the humble that turn the other cheek, yeah. Check the technique, blessed is the meek when I speak. Blessed is the humble that turn the other cheek. Blessed is the meek with the technique when I speak. Blessed is the humble that turn the other cheek. Y'all forget it, my self-effort's so pathetic, but I don't sweat it. I don't let it affect me, that you're running on empty, and people wanna be testing the style that be deadly. The infrared be put into the forehead, mocking the beast, stuck in the streets, and now they all dead. Inside the brain, trying to hide the pain, ride the train without going off track. People like you better stop that. Cock this lyrical clock back and shoot.
Place look like Beirut, cats acting like they cute, but they scoop when I come through now. Ooh, child, it's easier. The media still deceiving you with the greedy things that they be doing, ruining your mind, and you can't even try to find, even though you try to define the feeble existence. Evil resistance is futile. Now they looking at me, I'm not happy, but I got a new style. Like I told ya, chip up on the shoulder, lighter than the boulder, heavyweight up. Demonstrate the flavor, any hater, pen and paper still got. Doesn't even matter because lyrically, you know I got them ill shots. Feel lots of remorse, get to the source of the issue. Of course I gotta diss you. On the mic it's like war is the issue. So I try to make peace, make beats and techniques come back out there. Flare like the nostril, preaching the doctrine, traction practice the Pentecostal or Baptist, don't matter, they hostile. I mean everybody is, and everybody kids themselves are thinking that that's the way to live. Yeah, but I gotta forgive, and I gotta just turn the other cheek. Cause blessed is the humble with the technique that I speak. Blessed is the humble that turn the other cheek, and blessed is the meek with the technique that I speak. Blessed is the humble that turn the other cheek. Yeah, and blessed is the technique, the meek when I speak. So free, yeah.
I'm the infection that be spreading every second. Best friends with death, the enemy of redemption. I'm ready to get depression and the sleeping disorders, and never be suspecting it's me that caused this. Even before even the Garden of Eden, hard to believe I'd already started scheming, deceiving Lucifer in the form of pride, saying Lucifer should be the one glorified. I can't fool an eye, form the thought in his mind, telling Eve to get me from his tree where you surely die. Next born in the mind of Adam and then you will become the captain of bad men who have sin. I'm the craftsman of every wicked desire, creating blazing fires from just a flick of a light. I'm the Shekinah thief who be stealing the glory. Every time you speak, you're like kneeling before me. Each time and in each line you speak on, drawing out what you're all about inside your weak mind. As I define the topic, I'm behind the gossip, because seem nice to speak lies in the mind of a false prophet. If God's the object of your thoughts, it's I must have distorted, busted up and aborted. I leave houses cornered and parents fighting, ignite domestic violence, very exciting. I inspire riots and I cause division. I'm the bias in science and the war of religion. Trespass, iniquity, and transgression, it's all sin and its different expressions. A dark history of man's regression, fallen men or headed for death. Trespass, iniquity, and transgression, it's all sin and its different expressions. A dark history of man's regression, and it's born again, death to resurrection. Now some call me sin or transgression, but my name I'd rather not have to mention, as that prevents them from acknowledging me. And at present, that's just how I want it to be. You see, folks, that I be glorified most when you're unaware of my presence, like I was a ghost. What I most like to see is those who deny me find out when they die I had a hole in your psyche, showing that I was so dear to them. I was always close by and near within, steering them towards the Broadway all day with Frank Sinatra, ruin like your way. And of course they were bound to accept for this, and they were my slaves, but to this I'll send to this. But every now and then one might repent of this, accept Christ saying that I was no friend of this. So then I said bye and tried to respect his wish. As time went by I thought I might be better if I disguised my agenda, hide my offensiveness. Religious pride is never designed to tempt him with. I'm the hidden lie that's deep in the heart, I'm the vicious secret ripping people apart. I'm the creep in the park that be stalking your wife, the thief in the dark stealing all of your light. I'm the cause of your pride you perceive as strong, you're always on the right as I let you see no wrong. It was me on the throne, your soul controller, locked down in your home, hope for parole is over. Going to and fro, different views and positions, equally evil within the human condition. Confusing depictions of a true Christian, singing a few hymns, rules and superstition, using religion to make it more confusing. Too many to choose, which one is true then? As I move into minds with deluded pride, now you're thinking our religions can be unified. So stupid at times, human beings are, so ready to give the nemesis the keys to their car.
Trespass, iniquity, and transgression, it's all sin and its different expressions. A dark history of man's regression, fallen men or ever lifted. He's born again or ever lifted. It's the born again, death the resurrection.
From generational curses to racial surges, synagogues of Satan, apostate churches, nervous dispositions, strip
searches of prison. I'm even the reason that diseases existed. Resisting, I'm like, yeah, why not? More chance of plucking the eyes out of 10 cyclops. I'm inside the minor cops, killing minorities, that inspire minorities to try and stop the police. Suggesting violence as the best choice, and it might be the only way that you'll ever get a voice. I enjoy noise, havoc and chaos. Love seeing judges handed a payoff, enhancing grudges. See, you won't let a beef go. Soon as the trouble starts, I go to the peephole. Human suffering, my favorite TV show. Do punch in the game so I can see those teeth go. Like to see disease grow to a pandemic. Having bets with the devil, how many had infected? Yeah, check it, the devil's my apprentice. I had him convinced that he can still fight a sentence. And we prevent crowds, finding repentance. Keep your head in the clouds like flight attendants. Suggest it would be better to aim for the sky. Keep him in that state to the day that they die. Faith in Christ is like treason to me. If you don't have that, you're right where I need you to be. And you don't believe in him and don't believe in me. Yeah, cause that way you won't know how he defeated you.
Trespass, iniquity, and transgression. It's all sin and it's different expression. A dark history of man's regression. Fallen man or head of a dead man. Trespass, iniquity, and transgression. It's all sin and it's different expressions. A dark history of man's regression. And as you're born again, death and resurrection.
Scenes of hip-hop is full of tick boxes. You don't tick them, they won't listen, so you can get lost, kid. Obnoxious cats rap about godless crap on this track, talking about their pockets fat, acting like mobsters. Would you stop this, please? Even conscious MCs have got this disease, this blind persona trying to be a high roller, one extreme to another, just like bipolar. On one rhyme, they're exposing inequality, then on the next rhyme, they're showing up their property. Logically, this is nothing less than hypocrisy. It's what happens when hip-hop is sold as a commodity, stripped of a soul and death of just a body. See, it's all about how music can profit economically. Basically, all of this is just a business. Fake MCs getting rich trying to make an image, which is to have the right look, the right swagger. Crazy on the mic, just like they might stab you. Most rappers know this ain't just braggers and boasters. Factors that are gangsters, that actors and posers. The gas ain't loaded, just the showbiz. So put them back in the hoses so you catch a ferocious beat down. These towns ain't about that life. Man, I heard you was a killer, but I doubt that's right. A helpless kind of individual, this guy's pitiful. Got a record deal, but still tries to be a criminal. Typical, as long as the hits are selling, then they give him the image of a convicted felon. But he ain't never hit in the prison, you're kidding. For he was never the offender, only the victim of a system that stripped him of his identity. So now the guy he pretends to be is his worst enemy, drinking Hennessy. And don't forget the blunt smoke, he's snorting bumps of coke. It's all out in the open, so people can see that he's one of the cool guys, making his views rise higher than the blue skies. Well, this dude tries to be too blind to see with a shoe size like you see, he might just be one of the dumbest rappers among hundreds of actors, loving the status of drug slangers and gun clappers with massive egos and flashy tuxedos, hanging out in casinos of all of the Neros. The back he goes out to hang with his peoples, put on the street clothes, start kicking some weak flows about that urban life. But them verbs ain't right. The only action that he's seen is what he's heard at night. Bedtime stories become his best rhymes, so he can try to find and try to get some glory, to get some respect and start collecting some checks. But the stories are perfect for the record execs, but in retrospect, he's soon to get some regrets when it's time to pay dues like connected to debt. When he realized
realizes that real life is something different than living in a million disguises. From ice on the wrist to rims on a Jeep, and from 3-piece suits to 10 boots on their feet. Different dress codes for every day of the week, different roles to play in this game, so to speak. But what you sow, you reap. We try to sow the streets, but it didn't know the streets, and now we 6 feet deep. But don't sweat it like Keith. MCs are so fake with the gold teeth. Doesn't even matter cause I rotate, going round and round. I go pound for pound. Once was lost through the cross I be found. You know my steez with that deep poetry, flowing tree, packing seeds and bags like grocery. Supposed to be as dope as me, but can't come close to me, so don't even be stupid and try to loop it like a record. Microphone checking, dissecting the track up. Now you're off and back up. I guess everybody is the same. Body this game, I can't even properly explain as I try to maintain like organized confusion, organize a revolution. Start shooting this lyrical gun, just a criminal having fun, no, because I can't seem to let go. To all the baggage inside, damned if you die, lyrical samurai. I'd be damned if I try. Body bag a guy for trying to step to me. Shot the sheriff and the deputy. Doesn't even matter if they thinking about drinking and smoking and doing both, and go home and start sinking in the couch after a hard day's work. Doesn't even matter because you know it might hurt. Check my network on the social, mad vocalist. You can't cope with this, not trying to take a toke of this. I'm dope with this when I be dismissing, make you wanna listen. Beat these MCs into a state of submission, take all your possession, everything they own in a state of depression. On the microphone I take out my aggression. Everybody learning the lesson, so much stressing. I cock it back like a Smith & Wesson. How the scouter, I felt the pain. I make a crowd jump around like House of Pain, without even being there, breathing air just like you. Snipe you, see the whole game. Sin is addictive like cocaine. Oh man, I feel like I'm so strange. You fake like a gold chain round the neck. They found respect but traded it in for a check. I meant to say trade it, still I can't be faded. Think to myself about the wealth they be making, and everybody think about it, now they sadly mistaken. They faking the funk, blazing the skunk like Jamaicans. I got the earthquake and speakers vibrating, feel the sensation from Genesis to Revelation. Regeneration is what we all need. Yeah, so I can see that glory from on high. So many people can't see the story, pass them by. So now they're looking at me like I wasn't even looking happy. Hand on the plow, handing you down without looking back. See exactly they wanna face me. Everybody slow like they're driving Miss Daisy. Eyes always glazing, cause they still smoking. They really think I'm joking, but you know it's not funny if you're not making money and you're so damn broken. Looking at the people and you know I'm not a look like a gangster. Playing mad tricks like a prankster, but when it comes to reality I gotta give thanks to the Most High. Most guys refuse to choose. My life is complicated like a Rubik's Cube. Who's confused? I guess I'm just that rude dude. Now they wanna get a few views on YouTube. I'm not trying to be cool, necessary when I spit mad rhymes off the top of this vocabulary. They said that man is scary. I gotta be on top like the cherry, chasing like Tom to Jerry. Or Jerry the time like a cherry bomb when I blow up. 39 years old when they gonna grow up. I throw up some more ideas. You wish you could live life for 99 years, but the reality is like who cares? Everybody celebrating like New Year's, drinking a few beers with some new peers. I be like who cares? I say it again, give you the demo tape so you can play it again. Play it to your friend and fam, trying to end and condemn this man. You can catch me if you can, but you never did. They said that I'm just a pessimist, got them all falling asleep like they took some sedatives.
Man-made theories get done away with. The entertainment. Yeah, check it. Yo. In my heart I confess, far from perfectionist, dark polemicist, clouds as pessimist, negative vibes scarring the mental, raw rhymes over hard instrumentals, and that's essential to the true elements. Could care less about teaching of eloquence, question intelligence, found in man that don't understand even how we began. Big bang logic gets dropped quick inside the mind, going psychotic. Obviously why sick, lost the plot quick, invented a concept, collected the profit. The object to deny the faith, making you believe that your life's a mistake. In that case, that explains the rat race. Facts replaced with a sack of snakes. Venomous theories let out the bag. False statements created in a lab. But math professors who had to accept this fate that says apes are our ancestors. To find an excuse to hide from the truth. these blind professors. Mankind, the cause of confusion, cause of wars and source of pollution. Taught evolution inside schools, using violence like they got right to. Young fools don't know any better. Minds are fed by these blind professors. Now creation implies a creator, life generator, divine demonstrator, who made the universe, sun, moon, and earth. Done the true work, all we do is observe all what we see and seek to explain. Make discoveries and receive the fame, leaving a name so we can have the credit. Another stamp of something that man invented. Reject the notion that things were set in motion. These folk are like, you must be joking, but that's true. You have to understand who made the man that then made the statue. God created, a man duplicated. The truth is blatant, but we choose to hate it. Quite scary, you won't even try it. Like you're in a library and told to be quiet. So don't talk about him, of course you doubt him. Rejecting God, heaven and howling. Won't talk about sin, it's too negative. Instead you better get one of these new sedatives. Custom designed for the deaf, dumb, and blind. Fools most of the people more than some of the time. But numbing your mind, a way to keep simultaneously awake and asleep, alive and dead without a mind in your head. Empty inside so plenty of lies can be fed. Mankind, the cause of confusion, cause of wars and source of pollution. Taught evolution inside schools, kids using violence like they got a right to. Young fools don't know any better. Minds were fed by these blind professors. Mankind, the cause of confusion, cause of wars and source of pollution. Taught evolution inside schools, using violence like they got a right to. Young fools don't know any better. Minds were fed by these blind professors. Inside a snake pit, the mind play tricks. Every night getting wasted, trying to escape it. Life is makeshift, momentary. Find your mates for opponents of many. Your adversary is ready with a knife to strike at many different areas. There he is, that's the beef detected. Get you in the streets when you least expect it. Seeking the rep, that's the main thing. Street respect is what the craving. Accompanied by making currency to take it. Through street robbery, stealing the safes and petty cash. Yeah, to take any cash, spending it fast, don't care if it lasts. Collect the stash on an ounce of meth, about to turn your life into a hell of a mess. Or depressed, on the come down, like you're smoking that meth, ain't no fun now. Feeling run down, you grab the pipe, take another hit, now you're back to life. Back in your mind, has to think fear. Need to beware, cause the streets are here. Police are near, with the handcuffs. Plus you gotta watch out for them damn thugs who would snatch the drugs and beat you down, leaving you without teeth bleeding on the ground. Where's your fam when you need them now? You're your best man, he ain't even around. Surrounded with schemers, thieves and deceivers. Nobody around to be believing in Jesus. Meat cleavers, knives and machetes in the hands of a man whose mind ain't steady. Ready to fight, yeah, time to get busy. Helping the rise of crime in the city. It's a city life, the inner city gritty life. You could be the next one to be paying the price. Reality sliced like a knife. MCs out there, the minds ain't right. In the city life, the inner city gritty life. You could be the next one to be paying the price. Reality sliced like with a knife. Come on down and be taking your life. He was much blessed on the way to success. Placed under arrest, getting enough stress for 10 guys terrified of being sent inside. Sentenced for crimes many young men have tried, only intensified 100-fold in the blink of an eye. Went from young to old, molded and shaped to a cauldron of hate. Slave to the system, sold to the state for a cheap price. A committed street crime, his body's locked up, but still he's got a free mind. A rewind to around 93 when he chose to fall out with society. Trying to be an outcast, hell of a task. Living in a world where it's all about class and status. Hardly matters to him though, for he was on the outside looking in through the window with all the weirdos and social misfit. Your average citizen couldn't cope with this shit. Chosen by the system to be the guinea pig. Little skinny kid in the city thinking it was pretty big. For all the things he did that got him on the radar. A leap on the chase across the equator. Evaluated and categorized. Now how can he make it as a man that it has five? Tried this sentence inside the fences of the justice system, called five repentance. Instead of supervision, moves through the system, paying his dues for his stupid decisions. Introduced to his victims, mediation, moved to the prison, rehabilitation. State named him, repeat offender, put a label on him, so he needs to remember life. You could be the next one to be paying the price. Reality slices like a knife. MCs out there, the minds ain't right. In the city life, the inner city gritty life. You could be the next one to be paying the price. Reality slice like it was a knife. Come on down and be taking your life.
Wisdom cries out, a loud shout to the helpless, the selfish, the one they hear how near the hell is. Within close proximity in a broken city, we find it hard to find God, just hopeless misery. The dope within me got a road soaked with iniquity. So much hostility, still showing no sympathy. Self-inflicted injuries injecting venom into me. Viciously manifest aggression like death was free. Let this be a lesson. Vengeance is divine. Mankind is being tried in a sentence for a crime. For divine, the divine will resigning and siding with Leviathan who blinds the minds of men, enticing it through pride inside the vibe. This day, the final types of sin, especially when the lights are dim. As for me, I'm trying to win. I put my fight with some mentally tired again. Need to be revived in times are grim, darker than they've ever been. Only 17, he's sparking up amphetamines. Hearts are never clean, like the filthiest rat. Check the disrespectful team, we killed his own dad. The world was so mad, filled with insanity. Egotistic misfits fueled by their own vanity. Fantasies embraces forms of reality. People casually wasting all of their salary on entertainment at expense of taste. Is sweet to the senses, a deceptive fragrance. Flex accepts the payment of earthly pleasure. Forever on a never-ending search for treasure. For better or for worse or better. To see leisure coming first than our worthless endeavors. Inventors of evil through deceitful technology. Constantly at war through a peaceful economy. And honestly, I'm probably just the same as them. So it makes no sense to put the blame on them. And in the states I'm in, I got no right to judge, no right to malign or bear any kind of grudge. Acting like I'm above, but I be living beneath. And sin keeps me living no different from the beast. I'm swimming in the deep end of the water. Oceans of emotions always end in disorder. I ought to ignore the pain inside, but maybe what you call one of them crazy guys. Glazy eyes, the wind goes to my soul. Go wherever the wind blows, as wind blows real slow. But time passes by, faster than a passerby. Walks past and he glances and he asks me why I'm such a nasty guy. Finds it hard to try to be nice and see light in the darkest sky. Closer to the edge every step that I take, like all my hope is dead to be left in the grave. I can't accept that fate, but grace I continue. Based on many wars, many more upon the menu. To choose from, you lose some and win some. Through many tribulations we shall enter the kingdom. My righteousness and life is just a breath of divine test. No time to be depressed, society's a mess in orderly form. People trying to stay calm while ignoring the storm. Before their eyes is all sorts of signs, unable to comprehend with their thoughts of minds. Famines and disease, wars on the rise. We're back on the streets and other mortal dies. Stars fall from the sky, quicker than lightning. So think it's exciting, others sick of the fighting. Striving and surviving, trying to stay alive, afraid to die. And what awaits on the other side, homicide, suicide, now it's genocide. Plenty die from the origin of a deadly pesticide. Chemical warfare, it's never been more clear. Many are taken before they say the Lord's Prayer. It's all there, right in front of every one of us. But some of us feel like you ain't the one to trust. From the dust, you know man was created. A plan was activated, man became separated, left sedated. And I was living blind and naked, trying to make it away from the divine and sacred inside a basement with no light to door. A picture of the mind that's blind from before. That's why there's war and deadly pestilence. Behold the evidence in the Old Testament and the New. That's the truth ever since. Negligence of the text affects the present tense. Sentiments reflects and vex residents. Heaven sent connects and injects excellence into the veins of these depraved creatures, making them believers, awakening conceivers. The big picture has been hidden in the scripture. Give it to the sinner so we can live like a victor. A quick thinker, I see all of my thoughts trapped. War inside the mind, I see all of my thoughts back. A hassle at times to keep the right thinking. Swimming in sin and now you find yourself sinking. In the blink of an eye, your life is over. So it's time to be sober and rise like a soldier. You know the storm and it's a war for real. Standing on the front line with my sword and shield. Of course war will increase, sure there's a little peace. A ceasefire before the deep fire in the Middle East. There's war in the streets and it's still calling it beef. One was caught by police and thought he could speak.
but talk is cheap and war is expensive. Endless amounts being spent on war-centered agendas. Accept this, not expecting a tax reduction. Investing your cash in weapons of mass destruction. Now that's corruption on a whole different scale. The frail politicians wanna look when they fail, and there's war in the jails over little debts and fees for cigarettes and weed can mean a death for me. And every century, from the Spartans to Bin Laden, man be starting war since the fall in the garden. From Harvard convicts taking the gods as hostage to Hamas's rockets starting the Gaza conflict. Nation against nation, rival against rival, Asian, black and Caucasian, there ain't no survival. Genocidal tactics, practiced and accepted. Masses are selected, sent to cancer then infected with deadly diseases. Many can see this was invented. The powers that be devour the seed of the rejected. New methods of eugenics used for war, like the Jews before that executed them more. Abusing law to justify their insanity when they have to be tried for crimes against humanity. And tragedy's what they call it, and families getting slaughtered. How many casualties of war are not actually recorded? Distorted facts reported back to the media, deceiving and misleading you with the crap that they feeding you. And we're hearing the truth, the proof of the fall. The truth we ignore, you, it's an all-out war. You every day is war, it ain't safe no more. All the killing, the blood spilling, all the pain and gore. Paying evil for evil, time to settle the score. And as long as there are people, there'll always be war. You every day there's war, it ain't safe no more. All the killing, the blood spilling, all the pain and gore. Paying evil for evil, time to settle the score. As long as there are people, there'll always be war.